Hi everyone, back here with another video, and I have Jill Lawrence with me, and she is going to speak about some great tools in regards to social media. Um, I heard her speak, I think it was earlier last week, and her ICE method really stuck out to me. So make sure you listen for that one. So Jill, I'll hand it over to you, and you can kind of jump in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. Happy to share some social media tips because it feels like now more than ever is a time that business owners are realizing that being on social media and being online and present for your followers at this point in time is almost the only way that you can be
Mhm.
communicating with them. So having a strategy always is important, but at this point in time, people are kind of jumping on ship saying, oh, I don't know what to do. So I'm happy to be able to share some tips.
Awesome.
So what I wanted to cover was some reasons why you are maybe struggling with growing your following or not sure how to grow your following and how to get engagement on your posts. So the algorithm, you may have heard that word before. The algorithm is basically the computer system that is reading all of the content and seeing who's engaging with your posts. And that's deciding whether or not your post is going to be shown to more people. So the more engagement that you get, the more likely your posts will be shown to more people. So, the first thing that I want to share to you, if you're not growing your following and you find that you're not getting engagement on your posts, the number one reason why that happens is because people don't know their audience. And the more you can know about your ideal client, which I call dream client, the more you can know about your dream client, the better, because you can start speaking their language and you can start really learning the pain points that they're experiencing and what you can do with your product or service to really like help them with those pain points. So one method that I have developed is called the ICE method. And when you know your dream client, you're able to implement this method into producing your content so that you're really providing value to those people in a very specific way. So a cool example I like to use is that if you're a bookkeeper and you say that you're a really good bookkeeper, and you're up against somebody who is saying, I am also a really good bookkeeper and I specialize in bookkeeping for jewelers. So if I'm a jeweler and I'm looking at these two bookkeepers, one services all different kinds of businesses and is good at what they do, and one is a bookkeeper who specializes in my industry and knows the pain points that I'm experiencing as a jeweler and knows different programs and apps that I can use specifically for my business and my very precious inventory, then I'm going to go with that bookkeeper because that person really knows what my struggles and my pain points are. So that's what I mean when really knowing who your dream client is. Some people will try narrowing it down by gender, which is fine. That's a great way that narrows out half the population. Narrowing it down by industry. So, for example, going for that jeweler. There's tons of different ways that you can narrow your audience, but really getting to know them and what it is that you're able to provide for them will really help you when you're posting your content and trying to serve them. So the ICE method for content is when you're developing your content, you're really thinking from these three places. So the I stands for inspiring. So you're thinking of content that is really going to inspire your audience to want to be better or do better. The C is for connection. The connection part of it is you sharing your experiences to build connection with them. So, what do you have in common with these people that you can share that is going to further that connection and build trust with them? And the last one is education. So the E is education. And when you're educating your followers, you're setting the authority in your industry and showing them how you are the best in your industry. And that would be like that bookkeeper who specializes in jewelers, and they would be sharing the apps that they suggest jewelers use. They would be sharing all of the tax information that they know that's specific to that one industry. And that's really setting themselves up as the online expert, and setting their authority in the industry. So when you're creating your content and you're really struggling with what it is that you're going to be providing, the value you're going to be providing, always think back to that ICE method, because a lot of people struggle with social media thinking it's all about selling. And that is traditionally what marketing is. You're selling your product or service. Trying to mesh the traditional selling mentality of marketing with social media marketing, which is relatively new in the grand scheme of things, really doesn't work because it's two very, very different types of marketing. Social media marketing is relationship marketing. So you're building trust over time and providing tons and tons of value for your followers so that they can really get to know you, know your brand, and really feel that trust with you before they start to buy from you. So starting from that ICE method is a really good place to develop your content from. So
Awesome.
the second one is that you're not providing enough value for your followers. And it could be that you're asking too much from them. So you're selling, you're constantly selling to them. This is what I have for you to buy. This is what I need from you. And that really turns people off on social media marketing. People are online to connect with their friends and family. So you don't want to interrupt that. You want to be a part of that. You want to be providing them with value and giving them a reason to follow you. And again, that falls back to the ICE method. So what are you doing to provide them value in the sense of inspiring them, connecting with them, and educating them so that they feel that there is a reason or a purpose to following you besides you just trying to sell to them? And a really big piece of social media marketing that people misunderstand is that I was going to say the aspect, but the biggest, for lack of a better word, the biggest aspect is serving before you sell. So it takes time. It takes time to build relationships. It's a commitment. It's a long-term commitment. And when you are serving your audience by inspiring them, connecting with them, and educating them, you're building that relationship and you're building that trust moment by moment. So every time you show up, every post you do, every comment you make, that is building that relationship with your followers moment by moment. So the last thing that you may find if your following is not growing and you're not getting engagement is that you're not actually asking for engagement. So there's two different types of asking for engagement. One is a small ask and one is a big ask. So when you're first starting out and you're just building that relationship with your followers, then you're going to want to start with really small asks. So let's say you're a gardener and you're sharing gardening tips. One small ask at the very end of your post, you could say, what's your tip for growing vegetables? Or what's your favorite vegetable to grow? Something like that, just a really small ask. Or you could give a tip and then you could say, what's your opinion? Do you agree? Just something really, really small. They don't have to leave the app. The answer to the question can come really simply. It can be a one-word answer, so it's really simple in that small ask. A huge ask would be like, buy my course or visit my website. Now, everybody has to leave the platform in order to provide that for you. And that's a really big ask. You're asking somebody to make a financial commitment or to use some of their time to leave the app and go see what it is that you're trying to sell them. So it's really important to, when you're asking this small question, to keep them on the app and make it really, really simple for them to answer. And as I said at the beginning, the more engagement you're getting on the posts, the more the algorithm will be in your favor to show your posts to more people. So quality over quantity is always, always the most important. If you're just putting up posts for the sake of throwing them up, then the algorithm is not going to be in your favor. It's not going to be providing value to your followers, and it'll end up that your posts are being shown to less and less people. So on average, this number is like annoyingly shocking to most people. On average, the number of followers that are seeing your posts on a business page or a business account is 6%. So if you have 100 people, 6 of them are seeing your posts. And the people who are seeing the posts are the ones who are engaging with them the most. So if it ends up being your friends and family who are engaging with your posts the most, then it's going to be your friends and family that are seeing your content the most.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have those small asks. And when you are very first starting out, it is a great idea to invite all your friends and family to your business page or account, because that's how you get started. That's how you get your numbers. But over time, you want to make sure that your content is tailored to your dream client and not your friends and family, so that it becomes those dream clients who are the ones who are engaging with your content.
That's awesome. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
It's a
So
lot of information. It's hard to know
it
what to
is, it
share because
is.
there's so much to share, but this is a really good starting point.
What do you tell people in regards to Facebook and Instagram? Like, do you advise to share different content on the different platforms, or sharing the same thing in different ways on both of them?
So if you have time, it's best to share two different content ideas on each of them, because a lot of the times you'll find that your followers are overlapping.
Mhm.
You will have a different audience in some aspect on Facebook than Instagram, but a lot of them will overlap. So if you have time, then absolutely share different content. Most business owners do not have time to do that. A lot of people, what they do is they post on Instagram and they have it sent directly over to Facebook. If there's one piece of advice I could give you, it is that hashtags are next to irrelevant on Facebook. So if you're sending the hashtags over there, then either pop over to Facebook and delete them, or pop back into Instagram and add them in, because it's basically like noise on Facebook. It's just taking up extra space when they don't really have a purpose like
Mhm.
they do on Instagram.
I feel like I see a lot of people will do, like on Instagram, do their post and then they'll go in and put the hashtags in the comment. Does that work the same way as having the hashtags in the original post?
It does. And it's also like a matter of preference, basically. So you'll find some people will add a word or two right within the paragraph of their text. Some people add the hashtags a few spaces down, and then some people go back in and they add them in the comments. There's different theories around it all. Everyone has a different
Yeah.
opinion. My opinion is do what works for you. Some people say don't use any more than 5 hashtags. And some people say use all 30 of them. I
Mhm.
mean, it's free marketing. So if you can use all 30 of them and you're comfortable with doing it, if your audience is comfortable with you doing it, then absolutely use them all. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Why
free
not? Yeah.
marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. We
Yeah.
got through all three of yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
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 we
yeah.
did.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Jill. And I will drop a link to your Facebook page as well in the comments on this video too, if anyone wants to follow you and see what you're sharing out there.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I specialize in, well, mostly Instagram. I do have a lot of knowledge in Facebook, but I'm at Jillian Lawrence Inc. on both Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, I do a lot of posting for like tips and a lot of inspiration on how you can get online and how you can really be available for your audience. So thank you for this, Corinne.
Awesome.
This was
Well,
awesome.
no, thank you. I really appreciate it. And thanks to our viewers for popping on.
Yeah, thank you.